From literature to plays and movies throughout the world, humanity's fascination with love is just as strong as our obsession with heartbreak. But is a broken heart simply an abstract concept, or are there real physical effects on the body and the brain? Whenever you endure physical pain, such as a cut or injury, the anterior cingulate cortex is stimulated. Surprisingly, it's the same region of the brain that's activated when you feel excluded or experience the loss of a social relationship. Perhaps physical pain and emotional pain aren't as different as we once thought. Think about the ways in which we describe lost love. He ripped my heart out. It was a slap in the face. I'm emotionally scarred. This use of physical description paints a clear relationship, at least in language, between emotional and physical pain. In fact, studies have shown that human beings would rather be physically hurt than feel social exclusion. But why would these two different experiences elicit the same feeling in our bodies? It's clear that our bodies use physical pain to prevent the risk of imminent danger. But from an evolutionary perspective, anything that increases our overall survival and fitness as a species is likely to persist. The rise of relationships and social bonds between lovers and friends alike became an important part of survival for many species. You look out for me, and I'll look out for you. And just like your desire to not be burned by hot coffee again, animals desire not to be socially alone. The pain from both instances increases our chance of survival by avoiding less desirable outcomes. You're more likely to survive and reproduce if you're not alone. This can be seen in studies of primates who, when separated from loved ones, experience an increase in the hormone cortisol and a decrease in the hormone norepinephrine, causing a major stress response. Ultimately, this contributes to the depression, anxiety, and loud crying documented. For humans, a breakup, loss of a loved one, or isolation can trigger a similar reaction, creating the perception of physical pain. So, how can we alleviate this pain? After all, band-aids or creams are meant for physical wounds. Studies have shown that high levels of social support are related to lower levels of pain, whereas socially alienated individuals show poor adjustment. So if you're feeling brokenhearted, surround yourself with friends and family, as difficult as it may seem. And if someone you know is suffering emotionally, be there for social support, because scientifically, us humans, we all just want to fit in somewhere. This episode of ASAP Science is supported by Audible.com, the leading provider of audiobooks with over 150,000 downloadable titles across all types of literature. If you'd like to learn more about the brain, I recommend the book Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. You can download this audiobook or another of your choice for free at audible.com/ASAP. Special thanks to Audible for making these videos possible and for offering you a free audiobook at audible.com/ASAP.
Think back to the last time you were walking down the street and someone caught your eye. What was it about them that got your attention? Was it the way they looked, smiled, walked? Or maybe there was an unusual aura about them, something you couldn't quite explain. So, what is attraction? Attraction, especially in a romantic way, is a very complex process that takes place in our brains and has had its roots since the beginning of humankind. It's our mind's way of telling us who has the potential to be our partner, our friend, or our soulmate, and is based on a complex blend of our interests, values, experiences, and desires. Physical and romantic attraction, which are often focused on, are only small facets of a much larger equation. One way psychologists look at the ingredients of attraction is in the form of a pyramid, split into 4 different sections. The base of the pyramid is made up of health and status. Status is split into 2. Internal, which includes confidence, skill set, and beliefs, and external, which includes a person's job, possessions, and appearance. The metrics involved with health include physical attributes, movement, smell, and basic levels of intelligence. If a potential partner passes these initial requirements, then we move up to the center of the pyramid, which are the emotional factors. These include the trust and comfort someone exudes, their emotional intelligence, and unique characteristics. The final portion of the pyramid is logic. This is the part that differentiates us from other animals, and is the point when our brain seriously considers whether we're totally compatible with the other person. It ensures that the other person is aligned with us in terms of what they want, things such as marriage, children, or even the city they want to live in. According to this model, the more alignment there is, the more attraction there is, but it doesn't always have to follow from bottom to top, like in online dating, for example. Another model arranges these qualities into a map and is gradually established throughout a person's life. A child would develop a rough prototype of what qualities he or she likes or dislikes based on experiences with their parents, teachers, and friends. As the child grows older, this prototype is fleshed out, and deeper qualities are established, like sense of humor and interests. Throughout adulthood, this map evolves, changes, and grows along with the person as their personal priorities and experiences change. So, what makes someone attractive? There's no definitive answer to this question, but the first thing that may come to mind are physical traits. Due to the prevailing influence of the media, we tend to favor women who have younger, more feminine features, such as bright eyes, clear skin, full lips, and a narrow hip-to-waist ratio. In men, on the other hand, qualities such as broad shoulders, a deep voice, and strong jawline are looked highly upon. Scientists suggest that this also has an evolutionary origin, because these traits are associated with a higher chance of producing healthy offspring and passing on good genes. Of course, culture, values, and the environment that we grow up in also play an important role. In a study published by Nature, psychologists examined cultures removed from the influence of Western media. Surprisingly, they found that in 2 of the 3 examined tribes, men preferred women whose body mass indices would actually classify them as overweight by Western standards. But if attraction were purely based on physical characteristics, then everyone would be attracted to the same few people. Our life experiences probably have the greatest impact on the type of people we fall for. It is thought that a large number of couples usually fall within the same brackets in terms of size, education, religious beliefs, values, and socioeconomic status. Put simply, psychologists believe that people are more likely to get along with someone with a similar perspective on life, rather than someone who's had a completely different experience. From a genetics perspective, scientists think that humans pick their mates assortatively, meaning that they choose partners with similar genetic traits. For example, a study at the University of California found that married couples tended to have similar genetic scores for educational achievement. Our personalities are determined in a large part by the chemistry within our brains. There are 4 main neurotransmitters: dopamine, serotonin, testosterone, and estrogen and oxytocin. These exist in different amounts in each of us, and the one that's dominant has also been shown to affect attraction. For example, research has shown that dopamine-dominant people are curious and creative, and are attracted to the same, while serotonin-dominant personalities are conscientious and rule-following, and like the same type too. Testosterone-dominant minds, however, are analytical, tough-minded, and skeptical, and are attracted to their opposites, the estrogen-oxytocin personalities that exhibit more imaginative and nurturing traits. As you can see, attractiveness is complex. There's a number of different perspectives to consider, and at the end of the day, there's very little we can do in choosing who we are attracted to. Each person looks for a unique set of traits, and while physical traits are often focused on, there are far more factors that come into play. A person's upbringing, behavior, and even lifestyle have a major influence. The most important thing to remember is to be happy and make the most of it. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let us know in the comments or by giving us a thumbs up. We post new episodes every single week, so remember to subscribe to our channel and click that notification icon so you don't miss them. See you next time!
There's no problems if you're happily in love with the right person. The problems come when you are rejected in love. People stalk, they slip into clinical depression, they commit suicide or homicide. Romantic love has a constellation of personality traits, of characteristics, and among them is a trait called separation anxiety. That's been well known for some time. When you're separated from the person, you get anxious. You want them to text, you want them to write, you want them to call, you want them to tell you that they love you. So I decided it would be much more important for me to put people who were just been rejected in love into the brain scanner. My hypothesis was that brain regions linked with profound addiction would become activated. One was a brain region linked with basic feelings of deep romantic love. You know, you don't stop loving somebody just because they dumped you. In fact, you can love them more. I call it frustration attraction. When you can't get what you want, you just try harder. Also, a brain region linked with feelings of attachment to this person, so romantic love and attachment. 3 brain regions became active, linked with craving and addiction, including the primary brain factory that becomes active when you take cocaine and you're going through withdrawals. And last but not least, we found activity in a brain region linked with physical pain. Not only physical pain, but the anxiety that goes along with physical pain. So what a bad deal. You get dumped, you're still madly in love with the person, deeply attached to the person, craving the person, obsessively thinking about the person has become an addiction for you, and you're in physical and emotional pain.
From philosophers and historians to poets and scientists alike, love has captured our imagination and curiosity for centuries. Many have experienced the rush of falling in love for the first time, or the deep feelings of love for your children, family, and friends. But what is love from a biological perspective? No doubt it's intertwined with the evolutionary survival of our species. After all, you come from an unbroken line of organisms reproducing, from the very first microbe that split in 2 to your ancestors who have all successfully mated since the dawn of time. Sadly, if you fail to have children, this perfect streak comes to a halt. But while we're driven to reproduce, we're also driven to make sure our offspring survive. Though we often associate love with the heart, the true magic can be seen inside the brain. It may not be entirely surprising to find out that the brain of somebody in love looks awfully similar to one on cocaine. Cocaine acts on the pleasure centers in the brain by lowering the threshold at which they fire. This means that you feel really good a lot easier. We see the same thing in the brains of those in love, but it's not just the cocaine or the love that makes you feel good. It's the fact that anything you experience will now more easily set off pleasure centers and make you feel good. Because of this, you not only fall in love with the person, but begin to build a romanticized view of the world around you. Interestingly, nearby pain and aversion centers begin to fire less, so you become less bothered by things. Simply put, we love being in love. So what chemicals are at work to make all of this happen? Both during orgasm or by simply looking at photos of a loved one, there's a surge of dopamine and norepinephrine from the ventral tegmental area. This not only triggers sexual arousal and your racing heart, but gives you the motivation, craving, and desire to be with a person more and more. You see, romantic love is not simply an emotion, it's a drive from the motor of the mind, and this motor brings about intense energy, focused attention, and elation. The pleasure centers are part of the brain's reward system, the mesolimbic dopamine system. If you stimulate this region while learning becomes much easier because it's pleasurable and perceived as a reward. We also see a surge in the neuromodulator oxytocin from the nucleus accumbens, sometimes called the commitment neuromodulator because in mammals it helps to reinforce bonding or attachment. When prairie voles are injected with either oxytocin or vasopressin, they'll instantly find a mate to pair bond with. Finally, studies have shown that people in love have low levels of serotonin, which is similar to people with obsessive-compulsive disorder. This is likely the cause of our obsession and infatuation during early love. Amazingly, these areas associated with intense romantic love can remain active for decades. And while there are many other physiological and psychological components that add to the mix, the truth is, science still knows very little about exactly why or how love works. And yet somehow, we all seem to know it when we feel it. Got a burning question you want answered? Ask it in the comments or on Facebook and Twitter, and subscribe for more weekly science videos.
I can't live a lie, running for my life. I will always want you. I came in like a wrecking ball. I never hit so hard in love. All I wanted was to break your walls. All you ever did was wreck me. Yeah, you wrecked me. We clawed, we chained our hearts in vain. We jumped, never asking why. We kissed, I fell under your spell of love. No one could deny. Don't you ever say I just walked away. I will always want you. I can't live a lie, running for my life. I will always want you. I came in like a wrecking ball. I never hit so hard in love. All I wanted was to break your walls. All you ever did was wreck me. Yeah, you wrecked me. I put you high up in the sky, and now you're not coming down. It slowly turned, you let me burn, and now we're ashes on the ground. Don't you ever say I just walked away. I will always want you. I can't live a lie, running for my life. I will always want you. I came in like a wrecking ball. I never hit so hard in love. All I wanted was to break your walls. All you ever did was wreck me.
Hello, good evening. My name is Prince Kwame Afum. and I am the counseling psychologist for the University of Energy and Natural Resources, and also the host for this very program, dubbed Sailing Through Heartbreaks, Dealing with a Wrecking Ball. So today we'll be discussing a number of issues, and let me just say that it has become very important for me to bring up this issue because from January to this very time, we have experienced a lot of cases that has to do with brokenheartedness. And out of the number of cases that we have received, we have had people having depression, extreme anxiety cases, which has subsequently led to some even developing the broken heart syndrome. And so I have with me very, very interesting and big personalities on board today who will be joining in my discussion. But before I start, let me just acknowledge the presence of my crew members over here. I have the UNED peer counselors who are supporting this very event with me, with the technicalities among others. So I have Ishmael Abdallah, I have Peter Santiago, and then I have Asari Elizabeth, who are also helping me over here. I also want to acknowledge the president of UNED Peer Councillors, Peter Ja, who is also on board, and then the secretary of the local SRC, University of Energy and Natural Resources, Delmar Campus, Nyame. So to my guest, first and foremost, I'd like to introduce to you Epia Nomeshi, formerly known as Epia Santibia Mensah, who was advised at one. Hello, Epia.
Hi.
Okay. So Epia Nomeshi is CEO, Group CEO, Dixon's. In fact, I think I should have mentioned the Choice Cuisine. Yeah, she's really good at cooking, and I miss her culinary skills. I think I was telling her earlier that I missed the banku, so maybe I'll be visiting soon so that I can enjoy some of the new recipes that you have.
Anytime.
About that. Okay, so Epia has won several awards as a journalist, and she was also acknowledged as one of the most influential women in Ghana. Was it 2018?
Nah, that's a long time ago. I think 2015.
2015. Okay, that's good. That's good. And also formerly the host of the PL show Joy Prime. Okay. Then there is also Kofi Opon Asamoah. Currently, he's the news anchor for TVSYZ. Hello, Kofi. I think we may need to unmute Kofi. Okay, so hello, Kofi.
Hi.
Yes. So we are so privileged to have you on board.
I'm grateful.
Good. I have some big people in the house today. Kofi, thanks for joining us.
I'm grateful. It's an honor to be part of this important day.
Okay. And then again, we have Ekuya Intiwa. Okay, so we are friends. We've been friends for a very long time. Once a student, big one. You know, Ekuya Intiwa is currently the host of The Woman Show, a very big program on Facebook. And I want to call her, I love to call her an ambassador for women and children. She's really advocating for women and children. She's the CEO of Makers Network Foundation. She's been traveling all over the world these days, looking for support for women and their children, and then especially advocating for single mothers as well. Hello, Ekuya.
Hi.
Okay, so thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So I have two Ekuyas on board. So I'm just going to go with the full names, Ekuya Intiwa and then Ekuya Nomeshi. Okay. Yes.
Right.
All right. So before we get the ball rolling, I'd like us to listen to an audio briefly of some cases that have been on social media recently so that we can discuss them. Some of them are funny though, but I think underneath all of the jokes and then some of the funny comments people make, there lies the emotional distress that we can talk about over here. So can we listen to the audio?
To stay away from my life. How many times?
Bema. Yeah. What's this self-free na kwam? And I still ogusu e hana bi. E dey na ekoso. I love it. I don't know why she doesn't love me. If this is what you do, I'll commit suicide and I'll put you in trouble. Bema.
Looking at the baby at me and say, beach me. A chimney, no man, fever. Virus in your me. Hey, boy, my friend cry on fat. No chicken home. I feel there. I want to catch him and for be say broken heart at me. It's me the mutual Kumasia Kojakobu. It's so I won't mean yesterday again.
Broken said, Chua, we are there, Samuel Runa, and found no Samuel Didalia, and Runi Madda. What that I didn't change them. What did you mean? When you know day. Why Nasa or Pluma Cowan? Broken was you from Madia, you know. What's your bass? How? Menamin Chobasi. But my funny among broken heart and Monsieur Matthias here. So buy pretended or buy a pretender or get it. And I'll get in a wife into the niggas better tested. What are they? Tinakwa.
Okay. So I see Kofi, you are so excited already. Yes. There's something I always say, you know, underneath the facade, you know, I hear one guy say that when you sleep, it's like the night never really ends. You know, when you are bathing and then, you know, the sponge doesn't even foam up. So it seems that it's a joke, it seems funny, but underneath it, I think that there is some form of message that they are trying to carry along. I mean, there was one woman who said she has fever, she has a virus. Well, she even caught a virus when she got brokenhearted. So I think these are issues that we can take them seriously and then talk about. Because obviously, when someone says that the nights are longer, then obviously the person is facing some form of anxiety and then depression. First and foremost, let me ask this: Ikuya Nomeshi. Okay. So does broken heart exist? We may need to unmute Ikuya.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, your question again.
Okay, so does broken heart exist?
Definitely it does. In many, many ways. I mean, when you say broken heart, what is it? Somebody will say you take the heart out of the chest and then you break it into two. But that's just by the way. I mean, it's actually loving someone and then having your feelings on return. So it can actually happen either in a relationship with the opposite sex or in a romantic relationship or even in normal everyday friendships, or even sometimes it's between siblings or even, let me say, extended family members. So I mean, when you talk about broken hearts, it definitely exists when you show someone strong emotions of care or love and then you don't get it in return. Definitely, there is that sort of feeling where you sort of feel short of the emotions that you have actually given to the other person on the other side. And oftentimes when it comes back to you and you do not handle yourself well, that is when I think when all the consequences and the repercussions happen, you tend to call that the broken heart in quote. So yes, it does exist.
Have you experienced one before?
Most definitely, in many, many ways.
Okay, I have a book.
You broke my heart.
I did?
Yes, you did. You were one time my vice president, remember, in secondary school.
Okay, yes, I was
you
your
broke my
vice some
heart.
time ago.
Yes, and you
and
didn't
I
come
did
through
break
for
your
me
heart.
that
Okay.
time. Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yes, but it's all
Well,
yes. I have
I guess I didn't
experienced
really
broken
know.
heart. Oh, yes, you did. I was expecting you to come through with some proposal for us to do something, and then you did. But I still love you anyways, though. Okay, so I have personally experienced it in diverse ways, both romantically, both from family, and both from friendship. So, yeah. And I think depending on which one you experience, how you handle it is different. Okay. Oftentimes, I think the one that people emphasize on or people make a deal out of, if I should put it that way, is the one that is usually towards the somebody that you have sexual feelings for, if I may put it that way. Yes, usually somebody that you have that kind of feeling for. So let me say the romantic relationships. That's usually the one that comes up really, really hard. Sometimes the sibling one, yes, I think personally I have experienced that too. I'm coming from a polygamous home, so I haven't had that relationship where I have me and my siblings. You know, I don't have a sibling from the same parents. All my siblings are house. So definitely there are times where I feel probably if the person, if maybe we were coming from the same parents, things could have been different. And so in as much as I try to exude a lot of love to probably bring much closeness to, I mean, between us, I don't get that same return back, but I do not, that same, feeling back, but I do not blame them because we were all raised differently. And then because of that, sometimes it makes you have certain feelings like, do they want me in their lives, or do they care about me, or all sorts of things? Do you understand? And so yeah, that's it for that one. But the romantic one too is there. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get to that part.
Okay. Sure. We'll get into that part very soon. But let me go to Kofi Opon as someone. Okay, so I'm talking to news anchors and then host of programs, and it's a little bit weird here when they are the other side of the a conversation. So Kofi, have you experienced? Okay, yes, Kofi, I know you have experienced heartbreak before. I've seen you through a heartbreak before. Yeah. So can you tell me a little bit? People say it does, and some people still don't believe that it exists. When people tell others that they have heartbreak, they don't believe it exists. Does it exist? And if you've experienced it before, how was it like for you?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. This issue, Brakawi. Well, I have, as you stated, personally experienced this brokenheartedness before. It's tough, when you feel like you've given all your trust to one person. This is somebody you want to build a relationship with, not just for the short term, but you want to see a lasting or a long-lasting relationship with that individual. But then along the line, things may not go the way you plan it, and you may have to end it or come to a certain understanding that we can't continue this relationship, and we may have to go our separate ways. At times it's very tough. That is tough, but it's also boils down on the persons involved to have a better understanding on what the issues are, what is at stake, and why we can't be together. We have to go our separate ways. So personally, with what I experienced, I had to be at a point where you know very well that things are not working, and you have to let the other partner or the other party understand that this is not really working and we have to move on. So it's difficult. It's difficult. There you as the audio you played stated, you go days thinking about this thing. Probably you start picturing what you used to do together. But by now, maybe the person has called to ask how you're faring. Have you eaten? Those petty things that we do in relationships. You get to miss them along the line. But when you come to the realization that you are no more and things have to be the way they are supposed to be, you start healing. And that is a gradual process. So having this kind of amorous affection towards your partner, as Nadekia stated, families may disappoint you along the line, friends may disappoint you along the line. All these are heartbreaks, but the ones that a lot of people really go through pain is the amorous type of heartbreaks. And that is where you think you've invested all your time, your energy, everything about you into this relationship with the hope that it's going to work. But then you may end up seeing it the other way, either for the good or for the bad. But it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough.
Well, Kofi, I've always thought, and I think there's an opportunity for me to ask you. Your situation sent you packing out of a place, to a different town, and then you suddenly you became a very big man. So, yes, if my memory serves me right, anyway. Yeah, I know you're at a better place now, but at that very moment, when all of that was happening, how was it like for you?
Okay, so I would want to say this. I would want to paint my ex or my partner as a bad person because she had her positives. But then I would say it was an understanding that we had to get. When I was in Sunyani back in the day and started life, moving up and down, trying to secure a better future for myself, and then look at what God has for me, I had a job offer, and this job offer had to demand that I move from Sunyani. All right. So it was along the line when I packed out of Sunyani to start my new job. That is when the confusion started, because when I was leaving, the person had this firm belief that things were going to work out. And I also knew that, yes, I've given you certain promises that I was going to keep them up and things were going to work out. So, work became tough. It was demanding. You go very early. In Sunyani by 5:30, I'm on a 10 I've closed. It's just a small place. I can drive around and quickly meet this person. But here, you go as early as 4 a.m. You start putting things together for morning show production, morning show hosting. And after that, you think you may have some small time to do other things. And newsroom is calling you, go and do this report, voice pop, go and do this voiceover. So what I was experiencing in Sunyani totally changed my life here in Accra. And what became very, very tough. So there are moments where this person that through lapse will call, you wouldn't have time to talk to the person. She feels like because you moved away, you are drifting away. But that's not the reality, because you never anticipated that these things were going to happen when you get to a new place. And I wouldn't say I should sacrifice the relationship and come back, because if I come back to Sunyani, what am I coming to do? What am I going to depend on? So the whole lot of things came into play, and I decided to say, let's have a better understanding. Accra, Sunyani is not far. If you can come and visit once a while, that'll be fine. If I get time off work, because the funny thing is I was working from Monday to Saturday. So the only time I had off was Sunday. And Sunday you start cutting voices because Monday you have a morning show to do in the morning, and the afternoon you have to start thinking about news content. And I know the two of you who understand this. You have to come up with creative ideas to ensure that this show has to run. So your bosses demand a lot from you. And most importantly, where somebody would say you're not an Accra person, in the media industry in Accra, you would always want to pick somebody in Accra because the person has already made a name. All right. But you coming from far away in Sunyani where no one has heard of your name and no one knows you, you want to also make an impact. You want to prove to them that, hey, they picked you from an area where probably you were the champion in that area, but in Accra, you are nobody. So prove a point, deliver, and benchmarks will be given to you. So you have to pull your weight morning, afternoon, evening. You have to deliver. And it affected the relationship that I had. So calls will come through. I'll return the calls later. She may feel angry. your work is taking over me, so you're not giving the time that you used to give me when you're here. You try explaining this thing to the person, and she feels like you are just making excuses. So along the line, it had to be that either I follow what I love doing, which is TV and radio, and to let the relationship go, because this person is supposed to be the one to motivate you, to understand you. And whilst she is actually, I was expecting that while she's motivating me, she should also understand the sacrifices that we are making, especially with our time. And I also tried as much as I could to actually also make some time for her, because I knew I was giving her a lot of time, but that wasn't really happening when I moved to Accra. So if we could speak for 1 hour on phone, we're doing like 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I'll come back from work, somebody say, you don't do 24 hours. I'll come back from work and I'll be exhausted. So probably if the 1 hour we can do like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes maximum, and I'll be off. And you have to listen to all sorts of news in the night, late night news, just to get the fresh info for the following morning. So my work actually took a chunk of how it affected my relationship. The person that I thought could understand wasn't understanding. And I realized that probably for the better, we have to go our separate ways. So it wasn't like, okay, you moved out and you had a better offer, you become a better person, and you don't care about the person anymore. But it had to do with the two of you understanding the situation you found yourself in. Nobody was willing to compromise, and I wasn't really, because I couldn't really get the time to travel to Sunyani like every other weekend or once in a month. If I go to Sunyani, let's say Saturday evening, I would just stay only Sunday, and Sunday night I'm in a bus coming again, traveling like 7-8 hours back to Accra. I'll come and get here like 4 a.m., rush to the office, go and do a morning show, finish, do midday news, do 6 p.m. news. I said, nah, I'm too young for this. I can't kill myself for this. So we had to go after prayer. But it's
can't kill yourself. Okay, so
it's a lesson.
Yeah, okay.
It's really a lesson.
Yes. So joining again. Yes, we'll be joining again, and that is where we are going to get to the climax of the whole show. We are just starting. We are here to talk to Intiwa. Yes, Intiwa. Yes, I know she has so much already in store for us. She's an activist, and basically it's based on some experiences she's gone through. She took something really terrible, something very ugly, and made something beautiful out of that. And that was why I thought she was worthy enough of this program, because she has so much experience to share with the rest of us. Now, quickly, we'll be going off, and when we go off, we'll join again. So let me just acknowledge the presence of some individuals from Ukraine. Yes, we have students from Ukraine. We have students from Manchester, Amsterdam, and then from other universities who are currently on the platform that we have seen. UNER, we have Legon, we have KNUST, and then UDS, currently all on board. Ikuya Intiwa, I was asking a question. I wanted to find out who gets brokenhearted, because research says that women are more likely to get brokenhearted than men.
Okay. Good evening to everybody, and I hope the line is clear now.
Yes.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes. Yes, continue. We can hear you now.
Okay, yes. So you're asking who gets brokenhearted, being it a man or a woman, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yes, everybody gets brokenhearted. Everybody. But you see, from our parts of the world, it is mostly like men are hardcores. Okay, in the sense that Bema is so men are not supposed to talk about their feelings. Men are hard lovers. Men are, more of keeping to themselves than, talking about it, voicing things out. Whereas women, every little thing, we just want to talk about it. everything we want to talk about it. And so it seems that we women are, because we talk much about it, it is known that women experience heartbreak easily. But I agree to the fact that women experience heartbreak more than men do. My reason is very simple. You see, a man proposes to a woman in our part of the world. For whatever reason, if you, the woman, proposes to a man, it is a no, no, no. And so it is you, the woman, who would wait for a man to come and propose to you. So if you had waited so long for a proposal to reach you and it has finally reached you, and your expectations might not be too high, yes, but along the line, you wouldn't get what you thought it was. Okay, and I don't know whether the men take advantage of the fact that women have to wait for them to come and propose to them, and so they bluff. I don't know what it is. You men can tell me better. But I stand to say that women experience heartbreak more than men do, because we are the receiving end and we are affected more, because I can't go on to talk to another man if this man leaves me. If you get that correct, yes. So women do experience it more than men. You are muted. Barkham, you are muted.
So what I'm saying is that it will shock you to note that most of the cases I received were actually cases of men.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, yes.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, research is that women experience it more than men.
Definitely. Women do experience it more than men. Yes. You know, it is easy most of the time for men to move on than women. You understand? That is where people come in to say that women are fragile, women are the weaker vessels. These are some of the factors some men or some researchers or whoever come out to say that women are the weaker vessels, because we tend to complain a lot. We tend to live in such brokenness for so long. And so they find us very weak. Okay, so the fact that the men are not talking about doesn't mean that they don't experience it. They do experience it, but on the average or on the high part of it, women do experience it more than the men.
Well, Ikea, you work with you work with women who are broken, and then some of them are in the states where they are quite vulnerable. I know currently you have a project with Makers Network Foundation where you are helping, is it single mothers?
Yes.
Find something. Yes. So what is that about, and what's the motivation behind that?
Yes, Barakame, I have been in need before. I know what it feels to be in need, where you have to go beg somebody for something to eat on a daily basis. And then if it comes to needs, everybody should have access to it. But it's unfortunate that we Africans do not have access to some basic necessities. Okay. And so I thought it wise that why shouldn't I give you something that you can feed yourself with each and every day? Fine, I might be able to give you 2 cedis every day, but for how long can that continue? All right. So then, if that is the case, let me give you a trade. I always say this, that one thing nobody can take away from you is knowledge. So when you're imparted with knowledge, you have it forever. So I thought it wise to teach my fellow women, especially single mothers, how to fish. Taking responsibility of a child is hell in this modern Ghana, in this world. Talk about education, talk about food, talk about shelter, the very basic needs. It is not easy. I am working, I'm being paid. Somebody is not working. She's not even having something to do on her own, not to talk about getting income. So if me, the working person, is finding it difficult to raise money or to reach my needs, how much more that woman who isn't working yet have got kids or a kid to take care of? So I just thought of getting them this knowledge, this skillful trade. Then after the skillful trade, I help them get employment. Either I employ them to work, they get something out of it, or they work on themselves and train other people that I feel would feed them for the rest of their lives. So basically, this is the reason for the Women Island and then the hair and makeup skill training.
Basically, what you're doing is helping women to become self-sufficient rather than to become fully dependent on men. Is that,
Exactly.
is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
basically.
so there are some questions. There are some questions currently flooding in, and I want us to get right in on that before this also goes off. So this question, I'm going to direct it to you, Ekriano Meshi. Yes, and the question is, can you really say that you have sailed through a heartbreak and it's a done deal? Because people carry their pain from previous relationships into new relationships.
Yes, you can. Before I can answer, because you don't have much time, I'm going to make this brief. Before I actually go on to that, I think I would want to say a few things that our brother, I've forgotten his name, pardon me, said before, like what's actually catapulted into his breakup. He mentioned that a lot had to do with his work. And because of that, he had to let go of that relationship. I first want to say this, that oftentimes we use our work as an excuse, in quote, to hurt some of these relationships or commitments that we have made to our other partner. I think I am a culprit. I would say that I am married, and oftentimes I find myself, I work, I do about 4 things. I have an eye clinic, pharmacy, we have the catering and all of that. So I find myself all over the place, and then I come home at night and I don't even see my family. And recently, I think a friend passed, and then it dawned on me that no, I have to make time and draw the lines. What I want to say about what he said was, I think when you are in a relationship with someone, when you have a commitment with someone and you have your work, you need to be able to draw the lines as to when things should stop, when things should end. I am very guilty of that because, for instance, when I come home, and he mentioned all the things, yes, I have been there, done that, so I understand all that he's talking about. But when I come home, I should be able to say that this is my phone, work is over, so I should be able to put my phone down and concentrate on whoever is in front of me. If you're not able to do that, and even if he mentioned he actually even had an arrangement of having the partner come down to Accra to visit for some times, if you do not draw the lines, you realize that the person may even be physically in your presence, but you will still be ignoring the person. Having time for someone doesn't mean physically be present, but you have to be emotionally be present as well. And for that, you need to be able to draw the lines and set boundaries. Let me quickly move on to other things. You also have to set your priorities. Know what you want as an individual. When I was in TV, I remember I started TV, I think way back. You and I know that. I think I was in the media way back when we were in Capers and all of that. So fast forward, coming to my days at Viasat, I was doing all sort of things. I was more like the star girl in the office. And what I realized it did to me in my previous relationships before I got married was that everybody complained I didn't have time. I didn't set my priorities right. And that is one of the things, and then reveal. You need to detach yourself and be honest with yourself and take the blame. That's the only way you'll be able to rebound and rebound well and get over that broken heart perfectly. So that's what I did. I realized that I was all the time making excuses and setting my career as the major priority over my relationship. Do you understand? And oftentimes, whenever I did that, I didn't even have the courtesy to even rope in the other person to have a conversation with the other person and tell the person that, you know what, I think at this point in my life, I want to put career first, or at this point in my life, I want to put my ambitions first. I didn't do that. I was trying to be selfish by putting all of my energy into my work. Do you understand? And oftentimes we do this unconsciously, because when you're young, you have all the energy, blah, blah, blah. And the media landscape in Accra, for instance, as you mentioned, is quite competitive. You always want to prove a point. And once you are doing that, if you're not careful, you will neglect the other party. So if you do not set your priorities right and know right from the get-go that this is what I want at this point in time, for you to be able to be frank with even the other party who is involved in your life, that listen, Ajwa or Ikia or Kwesi or whoever it is, that I'm sorry, at this point in my life, I just want to have fun. I don't want any commitment. So can we just, do this? Because at this point in my life, all I want to do is to achieve. Do you understand? We don't even do that. Going forward, again, there is communication. That's one thing a lot of relationships are lacking these days. People talk, but do not listen. I have a lot of friends coming up to me and say, even yesterday, I think, let me use an example yesterday, that if a young girl approached me and said, how is it possible that your husband is always coming to your work and to look for you? You guys make marriage look so easy and good. And I said to her that, listen, don't go looking for love. First of all, my mom says this to me all the time, that you'll be spending 70 years of your life, assuming you are living 100 years on earth, you spend just about 30 at most with your parents. The rest of the 70 years, you are living with your partner. Isn't that right? So you need to, first of all, make sure that whoever it is you are choosing is somebody that you can live with for the rest of your life. And it doesn't depend on love. A lot of it depends on the friendship, the respect that you have for each other. Because trust me, I've been married for 4 years and I don't feel those butterflies anymore. I mean, let me say even within 3, 4, 5 months, the butterflies go away. You don't even feel all those things anymore. What keeps the relationship is the respect, the mutual respect you have for each other, and the friendship that exists between the two of you. I didn't fall in love with my husband from the start. He became my friend, and out of the friendship grew love. And for that, we can talk every day. My friends always say that you tell Nana something, you tell her partner. Because trust me, we talk about everything, gossip about everything from shoes to clothes to everything. And for us, that is what is holding the marriage. Because I tell you, if you marry, chances are that even for about a month or even more, you may not be intimate, okay? But there is something that bonds the two of you that makes this foundation so strong and unbreakable. And that's the same thing when we're dating. I would visit him and we will talk. What he didn't realize that for me, and I told him later on, that I did not fall in love with what was in front of me, but I fell in love with your future, because I catapult myself into 5 years of me from now, and I ask myself, where do I want to be? And who do I want to be with? So that at the end of the day, our purposes on this earth will match, will meet. And from talking, communicating, and listening to each other, I made that choice. And I will tell you that I think I made that best choice. And if I had probably married any of my exes, I wouldn't have had it. Because at that time, even, I did not have that experience that I have now in those relationships. Dealing with a broken heart and moving from it completely. First of all, when you are brokenhearted or when you are hurt, you need to allow yourself time to grieve. Don't be in a hurry to get over the relationship or to get over that pain or to get over that hurt. Don't be in a hurry. Make sure you take all the time. It can even take years. Grieve. Because what happens if you don't allow yourself to purge all those emotions is that you'll be bottling it, and that is when it can become the wrecking ball. Because if you bottle it, you don't allow yourself to purge of those emotions, you end up probably rebounding into another relationship, and then you'll be compounding. You see, that kind of thing. And eventually you will explode. Do you understand?
So you just mentioned the wrecking ball, and that was what I was waiting for. There are so many messages flooding in right now. Ekuya, you are hitting hard on the nail. Some points that I'm really loving right now. Let me just shift a little bit. Go to Ekuya until I'll be back again. There is this question. If you could add your name and then the university you are communicating from, I'd love that too. So there is this message that says that should one continue to be in a relationship with a lady he trusted so much, and the lady eventually tells you not to trust her that much because she's a human, she stays quite a distance from the guy, you feel okay when there is communication gap? I don't really know, but I think what she's trying to say is that she wants to continue with a relationship with a lady he trusts so much, when the lady is telling him not to trust him, her so much.
So why is he still there? Basically, nobody is to be trusted. Yes, we know. But you don't have to tell me I don't have to trust you. What are you doing that you don't want me to trust you? That's the first thing I'll ask you. You get it? So yes, I think he should work out already. You know, when you start in a relationship, there are so many red flags that we overlook. And you know my story. I have been a victim of this. Your instincts, your intuition would tell you this thing you are going into is wrong. Step out of it. Yet we would overlook it with a perception that he or she is going to change for the best tomorrow, and you move on, and he or she never changes. And that is what he's trying to do. There are numerous girls out there looking for handsome men like he is, not just the appearance, but from within. There are girls crashing on him every day, and he's not minding and giving attention to them. And I mean, no, he should work out because the foundation is very.
So
yes.
I don't know about Kofi. Do you agree with that? Do you think that the guy should work out?
He should. You see, as Ekuya stated, you can't really change a person. All right, no human being can change another human being. It's only by divine favor. It's only God who can help a human being to change. So if deep within you, you think you can't stay with all the things that the lady is showing with you, you have to go. Because mind you, the moment you get married and got his divorce, there's no turning back. Is it that you're going to stay with this person?
You are married now, you know.
Yes, I have. And back
you are married now, happily.
There are so many.
And so what Ekuya was saying earlier, you have transcended over all of that.
Sure. So briefly, I've learned so many lessons, and it has given me a better perspective to one, appreciating somebody that you think you can build a future with, and the journey that you want to embark on with the person. Because you may, if you compare what you are experiencing now to your exes, you may say, where were you? But all your exes gave you a certain experience that made you a better person. Because I had to work on my communication, I had to work on the attention that I had to give to her. And as Ekuya said, I had to really set my priorities right. My wife, my family, my wife.
That was Ekuya no Meshi. You know, we are dealing with two Ekuyas here.
Ekuya no Meshi. So now, it's not the case about me. I have built my career for some time now. So it's not about concentrating on my work. But now I have a family, which is even a full-time job. So family first, you think about, because no matter what, you can be out of job today, but you come back home, you come back to your wife, you come back to your family, and she'll be there to take you through that stormy journey. So now it's a lesson, and I've learned my lessons a lot. So I'm married now. Probably people may have other things that they may want to do, but it's been a journey for me and it's been
Okay.
fruitful
Rob,
so far.
let me come in here, if you
Good.
permit me. Yes.
Okay.
I like what Kofi is saying, but see, I've made some observations recently. These guys grow up to their state now, like Kofi is now, and start to realize whatever they did. My young men here, see, don't waste your time, don't waste people's time for years, and then grow one day to realize all these. It doesn't work like that.
Oh, come
It so
on.
doesn't work like that.
Come on.
That's a very interesting.
Intentional. Yes. Sometimes
It's never. No, it is never intentional.
I didn't say you, Kofi. I didn't say you. I'm saying sometimes.
I know.
I know.
But you see, the reality is it's never intentional.
See, I know people who would have people to advise them, step on their toes.
Okay.
This thing you're doing is a mistake. You know, change, make an effort. But you just don't understand me. I don't understand.
Can I
well, I don't know. It seems that, you know, I feel that there's a wrecking ball about to happen right now. So let me just go to Piano Meshi.
Okay. I bet to differ, but let me say something to that young man who brought in the question. I mean, when someone tells you something for the first time, you better believe them. Okay. Yeah. But I also do not believe that people can change people. There is a difference. When someone tells you something, believe them, take them for who they are and what they say to you they are. But I also bet to differ that you cannot change someone. Your life can positively influence someone to change. And I will say that for me, Prince, you will know that I have always been very, very quick-tempered. But I married, and then I will be honest with you that is gone. You know why? Because of my partner. I give him the credit. Reason being that I'm
going to talk to him.
Let me land.
I have to talk to
Let me land. I'm coming. Yes.
Okay, so hold on.
Can I land, Ipia, please? Let me just finish.
So let's listen to Piano Meshi and then
let her finish. Let her finish.
Okay, and then finish with what you were saying.
I was just trying to say that Piano Meshi wanted to change. That is why she could change. But if the person you're trying to change is not ready to change, never.
So you see, so what you just said, that's exactly what I was going to say. What you just said is two different things. So it means that people can change people, but now the other party has to be ready to receive. Do you understand? So people can actually change and influence people positively. But what I don't like is the blanket statement that people always say that you can change someone. You can change someone. You can influence someone positively. And that's exactly what this is about. That's what this is
about. We're about to go off again. Okay. So, we are currently asking questions. Those of you asking questions, I'd encourage you to ask the questions again. We lost some of the data when the video went off. So you can send your questions again, then we would attend to them immediately. Okay, yes, you can also send the information to me via my phone number 05410 64260. I repeat, 05410 64260. Yeah, so you can send it via WhatsApp, or you can also send it via normal text message. Okay, so this message is from Beatrice from Brecom, Bono region. And then the question is, why is it so easy to fall in love, but difficult to fall out of love? Ekuya no Meshi. Unmute here.
All right, so before I answer, again. I wanted to say something before we went off.
Okay,
So
before that, all of that,
said,
okay.
Like our young men should, do better. But I feel that we should raise our young women better. I want women to be responsible as much as men, we want men to be responsible. So I don't want women to come out and say, oh, he broke my heart. Oh, he used me and dumped me. Because at the end of the day, if we are in a relationship, we are in it together. Do you understand? So there's nothing like this person is taking a part of me and then I am just there. No, you must be as much involved as the man, so that at the end of the day, we are all adults here. So if you even want to have coitus, it has to be done consensually, so that you do not feel that, oh, he used me. We use each other.
Let me just ask this question.
Yes.
You're using some big words here. I don't know whether they are one of those words from your anchoring days. Coitus. So I'm sure most of my students will want to know the meaning of that.
Oh, if you are having a sexual relationship,
okay,
it has
thank
to
you.
be consensual. It shouldn't be that he used me. I hate it when I hear young women say that. I don't. At the end of the day, I have a daughter and I have a son, and I always I want to empower my daughter as much as I'm going to empower my son, so that if my daughter grows up and she wants to have sex, she should want to have it and have it because she wants to. Not because some boyfriend of hers said they should have it and so she had it. No, it shouldn't be that way. And I think it's high time to stop blaming the men, because women, let's be honest with ourselves.
Okay.
Sometimes we see the red flags.
I believe that I speak for all the men when I say thank you very much. It's about time someone spoke for us a bit.
We see the red flags and we go into it openly, you see. And I think women in this generation are doing much better. You shouldn't go out there looking for a ready-made man.
Okay.
You should be willing to go through the mail with your partner, both ways. And this is for both the men and for the women. Do you understand?
Okay.
The only thing that I will always say that you should not compromise on is character.
Okay.
Character of a person. Those are some of the things that you shouldn't compromise on. Even that, the program we are having, you are changing me, I am changing your thought. Do you understand? Okay. So even that, we can look at it again and then see, is that someone whose butts are just about 2% to his positives? Do you understand? Can we therefore work with that person so that their negatives can be channeled into something more positive? Do you understand what I mean? So that's it. So to the question again, what was it?
Okay, why is it so easy to fall in love but difficult to fall out of love?
Because we do not control our emotions. I'm sure a lot of the young women on this platform, when you were growing up, let me use me as an example. I wanted a tall, dark, bold man. Everybody who was around me knew that I had a thing for bold men. My husband is lying there, he's
that
laughing.
reminds me of someone.
Yes. But fast forward, I married one of the most hairiest man. Who is fair. You know my husband, you know how he looks. He's exactly the opposite of what I had always imagined. You understand? I like the Signapiakana guy when I was growing up, because I felt a man should look like a man. But fast forward, I'm in love with somebody that I never imagined. So therefore, all I want to say is I feel there is a supernatural guidance that moves us towards our partners in order for us to fulfill the purpose of which we were born to come into this world.
Okay.
You understand? So for that reason, if you fall for someone, I will always say that 100% of the time, let me say about 60% of it may not be a voluntary, your own voluntary choices that you are making when it comes to your emotions. Now, about falling out of love, a lot of it is for the fact that you may probably have built your life around the person. Now, let me take it. There are 3 instances. 1, if you have a sexual relationship with someone, it is very spiritual. I'm sure you've all heard of this before. Once something becomes very spiritual and bonded, okay, it is always very difficult to separate, because then it is no longer of you, of the 2 of you. It's no longer of the flesh. So something else has taken place in the supernatural.
So then, if we are, it seems that, you know, this is getting interesting, but I want to get Kofi Opon, you know, involved in it somehow. Kofi, you know, we'll come back to it being spiritual, but Kofi, there is something interesting here I want you to attend. Equia, there's an interesting question waiting to you. Equia and Tiwa very soon. But before I come to you, Equia and Tiwa, Kofi, there's this question here that, please, I'm in a relationship where my date doesn't call, neither does she chat, unless I do. What should I do in such a case?
Interesting. And this is something that probably a lot of us have experienced it along the line. You know, if you're dating somebody, you have to know where the person stays. All right, you can't be dating somebody out of the blue. You have to know where the person stays, where the person works, what that individual is into. So if you've gone for like a day or 2 and you've not heard from the person is not chatting, the person is not responding, well, fair enough, go to the person's house and find out what is happening. It could be that the person is locked at somewhere that she can't respond. If it continues to be her habit or character, where for her, she's a shy type, she doesn't want to open up to you, she doesn't want to talk to you, then you may have to advise yourself. But before you advise yourself, find out from her what are her challenges. Because there are some people that they prefer to listen to you all the time and wouldn't utter a word. We have people like that. And so we have to know that the person you're going out with, you have to study the way she is, whether she loves to engage in conversation. If she's not that type, then you may have the arduous task of you engaging the person, bring funny things that the two of you can talk about. You have to know what she likes, what she doesn't like. So it helps to bring out the conversational aspect of that person. If it has to be like, okay, you call, she doesn't pick, you text, she doesn't respond, then you can go to the house, find out what is wrong, go to her workplace, find out what is wrong, and then gradually you can build on your communication skills, because there are some people, they are totally shy. They'll tell you, I'm shy, I don't know what to talk about, I don't know what to say. But if you are good at talking.
So, Kofi, that message was from Selassie, and then she just added something else to it. I don't know, he's saying that she doesn't even know where I stay.
So that's the difficulty with what our generation is experiencing now. You date somebody, you've already had sexual relationship with the person, and you don't even know where the person stays. So where did you do it? Where did it happen? Do you value the relationship you have with the person? So we have to let our young ones come in, really understand how the world is changing. But I just want to chip in this, that as we educate the women, we have to also educate the men that they have to cease experimenting with the emotions of people. If you are not ready, don't go in for it, because a lot of young guys out there these days are really experimenting with the emotions of people. Human beings, you can't. That's why when they're even doing vaccines and trials, they start with rats and those things before they can generate into human trials. You can't just do somebody's daughter who could be your sister. You see, we've not really come to terms with these things, that what the acts that we are doing these days or doing to this individual could be extended to my sister, my brother. So, Selassie, if you don't know or where the person doesn't really know where you stay, start talking to the person. Probably she's not in, maybe it's university love, and you know how that happens with the person. Take it a notch higher. Find where the person is. Okay. Find out where the person stays. It's very, very important. not for it at all. Find out what the person says. If you can get to know a relative or two, even not a parent, a brother, a sister, get to know them and then start getting some acquaintances from there. I trust you, things will get better.
It seems Ekua Intiwa has a lot to say, but she was quite excited about something you were saying earlier. I don't know, Ekua, Ekua Intiwa, what is it?
Welcome. See, this is our generation. I like what Ekua was saying, that we should train our kids from the onset to balance the life we are going to live. Okay. See, these are young ones coming in secondary school, the university, because of the internet, because of technology. We do not respect, let me say, traditions we had. Okay. You know, for you to come out to have sex with somebody, we are all victims of this. I mean, we all fall, guilty of it. We're all guilty of what I'm saying, yes. But I mean to say that it is wrong. You meet somebody for the first time and straight up you go have sex. Like, it's a no-no. Counselor Luther will tell you this, that you need to at least give the person 3 good months, all right? By the end of the 3 months, you should know so many things that you need to know. Again, before you start a relationship, you should know what you need from the person. You should be already made. Okay, so me, I need this kind of person. I expect this from this person. You know your basic needs that you are, looking for. So when you see the person, you see this is the person I'm looking for. Okay, but if the person is not calling you, the person is not texting back, sometimes you try to go to the person's house, the person would, shy you. The person would avoid you, even if you try to approach him or her. You understand? And that to me is a very big red flag. If I'm going out with you and for 2 days I haven't heard from you, I give it a try. I don't get anything back. Seriously,
the question I want to ask is whether there's even a relationship in the first place.
Exactly. That is not a relationship.
You understand?
Yeah.
So Selassie, often the reason why I'm asking this question is that oftentimes young people, when I think as Ekua said, when they meet and they probably start having sexual relations, they automatically assume that it is a relationship. It's probably no. You understand? Okay. So the fact that I saw you today, we are 2 consenting adults. If we decide to indulge in something, that is because we both decided. Don't get it twisted. You should ask the person plainly what both of you are looking for. Don't think a lot of young women do that. I have done that before. Okay. Do you understand? Yes. Okay. And in my case, thankfully, I had experiences before. So when this time around, it was with my husband. When I met him, and fast forward, I fell in love with him. I told a couple of friends of mine, and then they were like, "Oh, like some men never really say it." And I said, "No, I want him to say it to me before I assume." So at the point, we got so close, we started spending more time together, like going to the movies almost every night, and almost every evening we were meeting, either meet for ice cream or meet at things. I don't even like football, but I'll go and sit there for him to tell me about football, just because I liked it. You understand what I'm trying to say? But I if he hadn't married me, the repercussions of those actions, the fact that he's also falling in love with me, would have been very catastrophic. You understand what I'm saying? So oftentimes, when you are with someone and you are close, or you happen to do certain things, be clear, communicate, ask questions. So Selassie, for all you know, that person wasn't in a relationship with you. You were probably in that relationship all by yourself, in your assumptions. Why? So for me, if you think it is not, you are not receiving, or that the person is not reciprocating your quote-unquote love, I beg you, take a step back, detach yourself, be honest with yourself and come back again and ask questions. If it is, fine, you're happy, the two of you move on. If it is not, kindly go to your room, cry. You can even listen to Cool, Celine Dion and all those things. They are there. Very, very important healing songs. Listen to them and then move on.
Yeah. All right. So thank you very much, Ikwiano Mishi. We'll be wrapping up very soon, but there is a message here, a contribution from Kwabena Citizen, University of Energy and Natural Resources, the Mar campus, and he says that the little contribution I want to add is that to sail through heartbreaks, escaping into the past when everything was great or into the future when everything could possibly be okay isn't the solution. One shouldn't try to cover his or her suffering in alternate consumptions. One should get rid of his sufferings, understanding its energy and embracing the pain. Only this has the power to heal one's heart. By staying in the present moment and mindfully walking through it, you recognize your own heartbreak and pain and eventually heal. I think that was what Ikwiano Mishi was saying earlier on. Thank you very much, Kwabena Citizen. And I think some of the points he makes are also very important, because some people absorb themselves into certain consumptions like drug abuse among others when they are facing heartbreaks, which he highlights on over here. So thank you for that. But the UNEP peer counselor, Peter Jah, University of Energy and Natural Resources, and he's also the president of the peer counselors. He says that he has a question, and the question is, should a guy continue to be in a relationship with a lady who loves him so much and helps him a lot, even though he finds it difficult to appreciate her love, but still in it because of having pity on the lady? Should I get that again?
Who is asking this question?
Peter Jah.
No, asking, who is asking the question? Is it the one who is in love? I didn't get it. Please read it again.
Yeah, so I think he's the guy. So obviously he says that should a guy continue to be in a relationship with a lady who loves him so much, but helps him a lot, even though he finds it difficult to reciprocate the love? Okay, so the girl loves him, but he doesn't love the girl that much. But still, he wants to be in a relationship because he has pity on the girl.
That's selfishness. That's not love. And that's not right.
Very selfish.
So for that, I would tell him he shouldn't do it. He should leave the woman be.
Nicholas is telling everyone to mute their speakers. Yeah, so those of you who have unmuted your speakers, kindly unmute them. If you have a question to ask, you can show the symbol of your hands raised up. We will unmute you so that you can make your contribution or ask your question. Yes, and mind you, once this session ends, you will not be coming back again. We'll try to wrap up before the session ends. Anyway, so let's go to Ekwe Itiwa. Do you have some particular last words for us all? Or something to say, a contribution of some sort? Yes, Ekwe, can you hear me? Ekwe Itiwa. Yes, I think Ekwe will have.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. Yes. Finally, what I would want to say is that since we're talking about heartbreaks, okay, personally, per my experience, what I came out of it is that you first have to accept the fact that you are heartbroken. After accepting the fact that you are heartbroken, whatever you feel like doing, being a crying, talking to people, screaming at yourself, breaking your TV, but don't kill yourself anyway. Feel free. Go through the processes of healing. Exercising is a good one. Confide in a trusted person. Talk to him. But don't talk to the person that hurt you. Speak into your mirror a lot. Speak your heart out. Don't mind those who would tell you, oh, it's okay, it's fine. It is not fine. You know it is not fine. You know deep within you, you are broken. You know your heart is broken. You know you are dying. Tell yourself you are dying. Accept it. Cry it out. Tell yourself anything you want to tell yourself. Blame yourself enough. Feel it. Feel it to the core. When all this is done, it's a healing process. And so you would realize one day that, oh, I'm fine. And truly you will be fine. But if you should listen to that it's okay thing, seriously, you would never get over it. So accept the fact that you're heartbroken. Be ready to go through your processes of healing. Feel free, be real and true to yourself. Do whatever you want to do. Exercising, to me, it's one of the best things. Gymming, if you can. If you can't, find partners to exercise with. Talking to trusted persons have got its own issues. Sometimes nobody knows. It can come out. But if you're somebody like you who doesn't care about what you're going to tell me tomorrow, since I told you something today, you're going to use against me. That is not my problem. That is a future thing. It might not even happen. But I would prefer talking to my mirror. I'll prefer exercising. I'll prefer solving the issues myself or seeking for a professional counselor like you, Brackham. That is the ultimate. But talking to friends.
We do talk. Whenever I have time, we talk.
Yes. So talking to family, fine. But I think professional counselor, yourself is the ultimate. And if you don't if you don't start from yourself, if you don't accept it, you can never do it. If you think if they've told you to go and see a counselor, so you're going to see a counselor without accepting it, that you are you're broken-hearted and you are ready to move on. Mind you, don't waste your money and your time. You can never move on. So basically, that is what I have to say.
Okay, so thank you very much, Ekuya Intiwa. That particular point is very, very important. I think people don't realize the relevance of the counseling service that we offer. But I'm happy, I'm proud that somehow, somewhat, my influence contributed to your making and then your achievements. And for that, I'm always proud. You know that already. Yes. But before I will move on to Kofi Okwan-Samuel, there is this question from Nicholas Kusoyere from UNE main campus, University of Energy and Natural Resources, UNE campus. He's watching, and then his question is that, what advice would you give to someone who is so engulfed by a vision which demands lots of effort and time as to the right time for a relationship? Can there be a situation where one can say it will be too late for such a person? How does he balance the two if he does get into one? I think that Kofi Asamoah and then Ekuya Nomeshi, you two have managed to get to some particular level, combining so many things at the same time. This individual is wondering how he can be able to be in a relationship. What time is right for him to be in a relationship? Because he has a vision in his mind right now, he wants to achieve something, but he doesn't know the right time to relationship. And how can he even join the two?
Okay, Rakwame, the thing is, there's nothing like a right time. Every time is right. But then before you want to get into that relationship, you should know why you're getting into the relationship, what you want to achieve, what you want to get out of that relationship, and how long you want to stay in it. Is it for fun? Is it for eternal commitment? Is it that you're just going to experiment with somebody's daughter's feelings and then you back up? No. So the moment you're able to answer these questions, then you know to yourself that, okay, I'm ready to enter. Because there are days you feel like all your friends are in a relationship and you think you also have to be in a relationship. But what it takes to be in that relationship, probably you may not have it. So sit down, assess yourself, and be sincere to yourself. That if I get into any relationship, is the relationship going to make me better, or is it going to derail me from the ambition or the vision that I have? If you think that the person that you're going to be in a relationship with wouldn't help you to achieve that ambition, whilst also helping that person to achieve her ambition, then please don't go. Because the person that you're going to date should make you better. All right? The challenges are there. You fight, you quarrel, you do all those things, but what are the benefits of you getting into that relationship? You need to assess yourself that, am I going to be a better person? Is the relationship going to help me? Am I going to help the person? Because you're not going to go into a relationship and go and stress somebody's daughter, or the person is coming to stress you. It's supposed to be something that's supposed to be beneficial. Aside the challenges that comes with it, it's supposed to be beneficial. So if you've sat down quietly as an individual and assess yourself very well that, okay, this is my vision, I'm sharing with the lady is ready to share in my vision and is ready to support me, why not? We are good to go.
Okay.
If the lady is not ready, the lady is not ready, and you think that, hey, she's going to derail me. But I tell you, don't stress yourself. Focus on your ambition. When you think you're satisfied, then you get into a relationship.
So there's a hand up. There's a hand up. We want to hear from the person quickly and then move on. Jones, yes, Jones. Jones is the UNEP peer counselors, the president for UNEP peer counselors, Chinyani main campus. So Jones, can we hear from you?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. And I think the program has been very, very good. But quickly, my contribution to this, I've realized that our culture have really taught us or has really done us a disadvantage. That is we guys. It has taught us that we shouldn't really express our emotions because that makes us feel weak. So it so happened that when you don't really express your emotions to your fellow, as Madam Akria Etiwa said, that's and so we find it very difficult in order to really express our emotions to our colleagues or probably our partners. Now, one thing I have noticed is that when you really go ahead to express your emotions to your partner, they don't feel that kind of security. They feel that you feel what they are also feeling. So it's like you are putting the two of you in one shoes. So they tend to respect and understand you. So when it comes to that kind of understanding, if only you share that kind of emotions, you express it to them, there the ladies can also feel as if we are much accepted.
Thank you.
And my question now is
Joyce. Yes.
Yeah, quickly, the youth these days, most often that they don't really date one lady, or the ladies don't even date one guy. Now, this comes along, it then turn to a double jeopardy when when the lady, the guy, or when the two partners tend to disappoint you. And that's the broken heart. I don't know which degree that one will be. So what advice would you have with the youth?
Okay, I'm going to give this one to you. You heard the question, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I'm giving it to you, and then if you could add up your last words in 2 minutes, your final words as well.
All right, briefly touching on his question, I would say that from my experience, I would say that have lots of friendships. Build lots of friendships devoid of sex. And I repeat, devoid of sex. Get to know a lot of people, because out of your friendship, I'm sure, is where your partner will come from. Your partner will either be your classmate, your churchmate, your neighbor, or your something. Do you understand? So build lots of friendships with people devoid of sex, and then make your choice. But if you tend to be having multiple sexual partners, it has its own consequences. I wouldn't advise that. So for that, is not good. But I encourage both young men and women to have lots of friends, okay? When you think you've gotten to that point where you want to make a decision of choosing a partner, be open, go out, be exposed, travel if you have the chance. I always say that, and that brings me to my final question. You see, as we're talking, I realize that we're still saying, putting all the blames on the young men and thinking that we're experimenting with young women. No, I don't want that. If you are a man, and at this time you want to go into a relationship and you are not sure what you want, and you go into that relationship, you're experiencing with your own life. Because at the end of the day, listen, when a woman stands out there and they say that Asimisi is so and so, it goes to dent your own integrity and your own image. Maybe one day you want to be the president of Ghana. We are the same people who will vote for you. So if you go out there and you think you are making a decision or you are doing whatever it is not somebody you are hurting. You are hurting your own relationship and your own integrity and your own person. So what I want to say ultimately is for us to empower both men and women, and also most importantly, to create more avenue for men to speak out. Women are more vocal. There's a question you asked. Are women, it seems, you said there's a research that seems to suggest that women are the most hurt when it comes to vocal.
Yes.
I bet to differ. It's only because women are more vocal, so therefore it seems that women are the most hurt. As Tiwa said, women talk a lot. So of course, you will think that women are the most hurt, but a lot more men are working as wrecking balls. They are just waiting to crash into people's buildings. They are waiting to crash into people's balls, do you understand? To break down foundations. It is serious. We have to be open-minded to be able to allow men to be broken, to be able to allow men to come face to face with their realities. And for me, that's all that I want to say. Empower men to speak up.
Okay, thank you very much, Ekwiano Meshi. Then Kofi, we'll be wrapping up right now. Yes, so like 2 minutes and then we wrap up. Yes, but deal with this question within that 2 minutes as well. Should I continue to be in a friendship where both of us have ourselves and do everything as if we are dating? Yeah, the guy wants it to be just friendship.
This is what they call friends with benefit. It is it is not healthy, all right? Just have to set your priorities right. It is never healthy to be in such a relationship, because at the end of the day, it's either the lady will meet someone that she really likes and would want to date that person or go out with that person, and the guy will start hurting, or the guy may meet somebody out there who probably is nicer and more beautiful than you, and they want to go out with that person because now the roles have not been stated. Okay, we are friends, but we are not dating, but we are acting like couples. There's like those kind of things. So it's not advisable you do that. And then briefly and finally, before we wrap up everything, I just want to add something to what Ekwe and Tiwa said, that talk to people, but be careful. There is a caution here. I remember. I also experienced it when I was growing up. When you are brokenhearted, you want to share your sadness and your thoughts with somebody. Along the line, if you don't take care, the person that you're sharing your experience with is filling a certain vacuum. So by the time you realize you're falling in love with the person, you think you love the person. No, you don't love the person, but because the person is now acting like either your boyfriend or a girlfriend, you may think you love the person. By the time you realize, you start either having sexual relations with the person, and after that sexual act, like the sperm will come out. Eventually, so you know that you don't love the person anymore, but because you have committed yourself sexually, you think you owe that person a relationship. And that is not good, and you wouldn't get anything good out of this. And it becomes kind of a double jeopardy. One, you suffered first emotional trauma by having a heartbreak, and then this person that you thought you were going to share your experience and your story and everything with, slept with you, and he doesn't love you again, or you don't love him again. You want to break up.
So
and then also another stressful journey. So be careful who you talk to and the emotions you attach in there.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Kofi, Opo, and some. In fact, I think we have very limited time. We would have to. the three of you, I'll be bringing you to my campus once COVID-19 is over. I hope you agree right here, right now, in front of all the witnesses.
I plead the fifth.
All right, I'll come.
You plead the fifth. Okay, I know you're very busy. Yes, and then your pharmacy is opening very soon. Is it Monday?
Yes, on Monday. It's a movie
student visit Choice Cuisine.
They can visit. In fact, now we don't encourage people to come in. You can just send us your prescription and we deliver. You can call if you have any sickness, anything. You can call for pharmacy counseling. You can call the doctor online, and then you can have your consultation online. You can always call us and then we deliver your food. If you have any bone rehabilitation issues, you can also call us and then we do. So I'm sure Prince, you can put our number across.
I'll be communicating.
And for iClinic as well.
She's contact.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I'll be communicating the business control. Thank you so much for joining. We'll be creating that WhatsApp platform that one of you suggested, where you can share your problems for advice. And then I hope that when we call on you when COVID-19 is over, you'll be joining us. Thank you so much. I love you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you for having us.
Okay.
We clawed, we chained our hearts in vain. We jumped, never asking why. We kissed, I fell under your spell of love. No one could deny. Don't you ever say I just walked away. I will always want you. I can't live a lie, running for my life. I will always want you. I came in like a wrecking ball. I never hit so hard in love. All I wanted was to break your walls. All you ever did was wreck me. Yeah, you wrecked me. I put you high up in the sky, and now you're not coming.